breaking news. Nigeria government just signed a deal with the European healthcare body. They are ready to make an immediate investment of 2 million euro. And they are also bringing extra 2 billion euro in a space of 3 years. They are also going to train. They don't have their own jarao. So there are people back home will be like, thank God, Europe is coming to come and invest 2 billion. No. Na Bambiala, they go to Bambiala. So those ones will just be like, well, go to Africa if you can take the risk and see what you can get from there. We'll give you the consular backing and support. If you want to take pictures with their leaders, just make sure that you go with your checkbook. Checkbook for what? Oh, they are always begging. They are always begging. It is in their nature. Really? Yeah. When you get there, you will see a minister start complaining about how life is tough, how he's struggling, how everything is hard for him. He's trying to ask you to give him money, even though you came there to talk development. This is who they are. Just go there. Just go with your checkbook. All right. Okay. And then that's it. Free pass. That is the kind of leaders that you have. They are unproductive, always begging for money. They are looking for people to even cancel their debts. Now, you want to send somebody to go and talk to the world that will see you and just feel like, oh, you know, when you hear news. You remember when, listen, this is not me trying to bring all of we'll be saying supporters and the critics. So I just want to use this as an example that is real. Do you all remember when Barack Obama was elected the American president? I just want to bring back that era, okay? Forget about the other things for now, please. You remember that? Even as a black person, you just kind of feel like, well, that's some history in the making. Oh, wow, really? A black man as an American president? Even Oyinbo is the trip. If you go and it was so good, it speaks well. Even Oyinbo is good, a trip for Obama. Every time they say the president, apart from being the president of America, but being Obama, everywhere he went then, there was this horror. Everyone wanted to meet him for the first time. Oh dear, and all of that stuff, right? That happens to when you have some sound things that probably was mostly unexpected, but not the status quo per se. I'll tell you another one. In case some of you are too young, you may not understand this, okay? But it happened. It is true, okay? When Abiola died, when they killed Abiola, okay, there was this deal that was struck by the American government. And you must have heard the name like Condoleezza Rice. Now, see, the deal then was the military just had to go. But if the military have to go, they would have to kind of give them a lifetime settlement. They would never be probed or tried for any of their atrocities. So when they struck that deal, they now brought Obasanjo. The military themselves suggested that, well, they probably will go with Obasanjo as the next president of Nigeria. Now, here's what I'm trying to get to. Obasanjo had a track record that was really, really sort of very good at the time, globally. However, when Obasanjo now became president, I want to implore you to please go on Google and go on search for Obasanjo's first trip abroad here and there. It was Obasanjo was oozing of royalty, authority, and that is why many of us will never forgive him for not taking advantage of the second opportunity to actually put Nigeria on a track to true federalism. He had everything. Obasanjo, he was able to go to everywhere. Obasanjo traveled all over the world and he was speaking the best Nigerian brains from different organizations all over the world. He was telling them, give that person to me. Give that to me. I needed this person. They were obeying him. They were releasing them. That was how Okonjo Iweala came back to be his minister. Remember? Obasanjo was making deals that if you are willing to come back to Nigeria, probably to come and reinvest in Nigeria, you will have the federal pass that will not only help your relocation, it is going to help your resettlement. Obasanjo's government were sending money to relocate Nigerians back to Nigeria as expats. Some of them are watching me. Probably their children will be watching me too. He had that aura. Obasanjo went around the globe. He was telling them, he wasn't asking them for money. He was asking them to forgive Nigeria debt. And one single morning, they woke up and they said, okay, we've forgiven all the debt of Nigeria. If Nigeria will pay so amount back, the rest will be written off. And Obasanjo wrote Nigeria debt in killed since 1979 when he handed over to Shagari. They wrote Nigeria debt back to zero in 2002 or thereabout. He had that. You get? He was making deals here and there, and people were fulfilling them. He was the one who cut the deal for the Abacha loot to be returned, even though that deal was not to Nigeria's advantage. But he wanted everything he could get. He had that authority at the time. Seriously, I'm just trying to kind of make you compare now. They overthrown a president that was visiting Nigeria, Sao Tome and Principe. Obasanjo put they announced that they have overthrown their president. He should stay in Nigeria. Don't come back here. Military. Obasanjo put their president in his Nigeria presidential jet, flew to Sao Tome and Principe, and his own pilot was radioing their ground control that the president of Nigeria and the president of Sao Tome and Principe, they are in the air. They threatened Obasanjo that they will shoot down. He said they should shoot it down and ignite the Nigeria-Sao Tome war. That was when Nigeria meant something, right? I mean it too. That same day, imagine they overthrow somebody in 24 hours. After 24 hours, within 48 hours, Obasanjo reinstated him. The guy finished his term. But like I said, I'm talking about when Nigeria had something to offer. And that got into him. He felt like he was the only person who could actually rule Nigeria. A country of 150 million to 200 million people. He was the only, then pushed Nigeria towards this trajectory. And today is now one of those saying democracy is not for Africa. It's not working for Nigeria and blah, 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 blah. That's why some of us won't forgive him. Ever. He would have resolved this like, you would never have had Bukuari, talk less of having Tinubu. They would never have happened. Where it is Nigeria. So it's a spilled milk. Now, Tinubu and his gang, they are going about asking people to give them money, falsifying data in order to make themselves look good. But in reality, I was watching a few of them a few days ago, and that is their Minister of Communication and then Digital Economy. I've been something like that, Sha. Bosunti Jani, the guy that was on this side before, right? He's one of those who built the tech ecosystem Lenkwe. Those tech that you can use app, all those, those startup companies that were into maybe payments like, what are those names again? Paystack. What other names? You shall know what I'm trying to say, right? People who are like helping connect businesses to, to the World Wide Web, app and all that. They call it ecosystem, building tech ecosystem. Tinubu picked him and made him a commissioner, minister. All right. And the guy has been doing his own point-based, what did they call that? Pinpoint. What do you call that thing that they have to present on a whiteboard? Is that called a pinpoint, whatever? He's been doing all of that all this while. building websites for experts to come back. Or join. They are software developers, app developers, and they do those. For example, let's say you have a restaurant now, right? And your restaurant, you really want the world to know that you have a restaurant there and all of that. So they will build you in a way, a system model. I mean, a model, sort of a kind of a system model that will categorize you into the search. When people are looking for restaurants in social area, you will pop up. Not just that, right? Yeah, you can even have your own app where people can indeed reach out to you and all that. But it's just that within that circle, when you click up in the app now and say, I'm looking for where to get a spa, or I'm looking for a salon. So if you have all your salons and all of them, if they have already built website and all of them for you, people can easily get you, Sha. You know what I mean? People can order from you, like you have small shop and all that. They can build into it, okay? You have your web, you have your contact, everything is within that frame, that ecosystem. But this is also so be. Now so it be when person won't try to share see which one go it. It will make sense in the soy. Let's see the one we go. For all of you shall get idea of what I'm trying to say, Abi, before I finally begin to talk nonsense. Say my okay. You don't go for my it's okay. We get you. You don't go extra. Say I'll leave it at that. Anyway, Flutter Wave. You get what I'm saying? These are big like platforms that have made names, but there are other smaller ones. So you have Jumia, you have all these things, right? Big stores that have been built into it. They don't have to open shops everywhere anymore. You can have a big, massive warehouse. And that's it. People can begin to pick up your stuff all over the country. And you make more money instead of having to open shops here, open shop everywhere, paying rent. That's the kind of thing Bosun is doing, right? Now they are doing one. They say they want to do one for medicals. Bosun can say, all of them are way there abroad. You can go and register so that you can get a job or medical this or that. Sounds good, right? But people can't take it so bad, like you're mad. You have a country that has no electricity. The infrastructure is zero, almost zero. And you're making it look like you are building something for the country, for Nigeria. Then later, if the thing no can really work because it won't work, you begin to say, at least he tried, he built something for you. You're mad, if you are building something for your this and say, okay, I'm building this, for example, you say, if you need any doctor, for example, you say, if you need any doctor for your this or that, you can get please, we need you to sign up. And a UK a day. Sure you get. So, which means I can be offering advices and the rest of that and all that, Abi. But I think all those ones are already existing. So Bosun is now trying to make it look like he has built something that is going to attract all of you working in the medical field outside Nigeria, so that you can apply and you can be posted to Luth, Osutu, Abi, Yunutu, Abi Kilongpe, Yunsuit. You shall know all those teaching hospitals within Nigeria, especially those of you who don't japa, in the last 2-3 years. So Bosun is building something like that. They come bombard and say, nonsense. Everyone is trying to kind of make it look like they are doing something, when the real thing is not indeed, is actually completely abandoned for frivolities. They talk about them, but they do something different. So if you are looking forward to the 2024, I am saying make you prepare well, so that 2024 will not come again. And then you begin to kind of find another thing to make yourself feel better. Because yesterday, I wasn't on yesterday, right? So I was at the Wakajeje on top of the Zuckerberg Street, then negotiating that of Elon Musk Avenue too, which is the Twitter Vile as well, right? And I just saw people where they say, they can't carry billboard for head like this. I voted for Tinubu, but I am hungry. I voted for Tinubu, but I am suffering right now. But I still believe in the mandate. Have you seen them or have you not? Right. I have seen them all. You know those ones who are trying to make themselves feel better and say, maybe it is not bad after all. Sure you get? Like that they did this to themselves. If you want to look for trouble, just go on social media and just say, if you know that you voted for Asiwaju, please drop your account details below. I am going to pick 200 people. If 5,000 naira is not too small for you, I tell you how you go do them, okay? You go say, fellow Nigerians, if you voted for Asiwaju, please drop your account details below and tell me what you can do with 5,000 naira if it's not too small for you. May Asiwaju succeed on the mandate we stand. Go and post that. Experiment. Go and experiment. People know the comment on your post on Facebook or Twitter, Abi. People hardly follow you or reply your messages, Abi. People actually hardly even like your post on social media, Abi. Go and post that right now. And in the next 30 minutes, come back here and tell me the result. You will see these guys that will tell you horrible, horrible stories about themselves because of 5,000 naira. If you want to finish them, just go and put it and say, I want you to write that I voted for Asiwaju and I am suffering now. I will do it again because I know Asiwaju will succeed. Then please post your account details and what do you think 5,000 naira can do for you? You will see all of them, they will trip out. Even though we all agree that you cannot shame the shameless. But more yummy. Sometimes, other people's shame. They shame person too. When you could be like, you don't get shame, money. It's better. It be like I just have to hold the shame on your behalf. You get that? There are those they are telling that Asiwaju succeed. In 2024, all of you should wait. Okay? Everything's going to calm down. Asiwaju is going to is going to shame all his enemies. They are telling you that what you are going through, the only way to show that you are not going through that and you are not Tinubu's enemy is to what? Is to just keep it to yourself. Even me, I will tell you, okay, Omo Yami, one or Ronu now. But later, I just feel like majority of you have been told, after you should Ronu, Keronu Kulokubai. You will not be able to hold it together. It is not that I'm wishing it on you. I'm not. I have seen what they want to do in 2024. And I can tell you free of charge. It's going to lead you into more poverty. So, which one is to am for Joshi Wumi? Why are you looking at me somehow? Why are you looking at me like that? That's not me. I have seen what they are going to do, what they want to do. And from what I have seen, when they are able to carry it out, even if now 50% of it they are able to carry out, Baba, do you know what is called Fodun Wadun? I'll tell you. Fodun Wadun is to compare year by year. You'll be comparing years. It is not a good thing. It sounded like a plea, like something like a curse, but indeed, the actions of the criminals has turned many of you to start Fodun Wadun. They compare years. Anyway, last year, Baba. last year. You remember that my car now? I say, hey, you get car before? He said, Baba, last year now, where we go, Kuramo. How, oh, girl, you don't forget. Ha. She mean at June, I sell her. No, we will take and pay for my wife operation. But you don't forget. See, my you go no vex. Too much, eh? I don't forget, say you don't buy car before. Say, this country, Baba, this country, man. Say, but you said you get shop last year now. You remember saying that for your in front of your shop, we all did the rough farm, Baba, see, all it's me and you. Just think, Amo. Now me and you come be special advisor to the chairman of our park, where we drive Korokwe, where we drive Okada now. Now be the special because now go school now get good, but everything is gone now. Here you are now for doing what do. I know those that will tell you, my if anybody had told me in 2015 that Nigeria is going to become like this, I would have. I said, kilo happen. In 2015, I was going everywhere for vacation. So what happened? You don't go vacation anymore. Vacation, forget vacation, Jare. I've been struggling to even keep my business afloat. I said, really? You better pray, Adi. These guys have no real plan for you, for your children, for any of you at all. And you can make things up in your head. Let us pray for them. Let us fast for them. That's for you. Or you can develop the same coping mechanism. Like, at least, he's trying. And some people are just the ones that are trying to they are not letting his work show. Build every other kind of defense mechanism. But my ego will be here to continue to remind you that you did this to yourselves. Do you get that? You cannot make anything out of nothing. It is impossible. Actions, they say, speaks louder than words. If it's about words, they are the wordsmiths. They are good at it. Still, keep listening to them. And keep comforting yourself too. Nigeria is so divided that every little chance everyone has is either to trigger or get triggered. Trigger someone or be triggered, sort of. Divided to the point that sometimes you have to be like, when they say, like you have to be walking on eggshells. Especially if you have your own biases too. Talking about history. Histories will make people sometimes become so enraged simply because their history is being manipulated just for them to look bad and the others to look good. I said something. Me, not you. Thank you very much. The Empress. The Empress is with us tonight. Tunapa is here with us as well. And I know my dear brother, Innocento B. Kalu Okpara, Martinelli, and all the crew. I can see some of you there already. Mogunasha, take them easy and pay attention. Okay? We have had, there's something they say about that if the animals were allowed to write their own stories, you will barely see a part that glorifies the hunter. Barely. And in the case of history, some of them are written in blood, which means through conqueror, fight, and all of that resistance, and from century to century. And as Africans and me as a Ijebu man, we have our histories that indeed are interrelated. When you take a calmer look, one reason why people, I would say, the Pan-Africanists are still struggling to find the fundamental root cause of the divisions among Africans, that Africans generally are the surviving tribes and the ethnic nationalities of Africans who survived till today. They survived through, centuries of war, famine, migration, and the rest of that to sustain what many refer to today as the ancestry. But when you look at all of it, you will know we have had our path cross one time or another, or many times in our history. And that is what is going to take me down to Nigeria and Lagos and Yoruba land. Oba of Benin was in Lagos, probably still in Lagos, as the guest of Sanwo-Olu and the Lagos state government. It's sort of a special, a special appearance or meeting, you would say, because there are those who grew up believing that Oba of Benin will never leave his palace, except for traditional, purposes and all of that. But again, I think historians have explained why Oba of Benin can actually leave his palace, and there will be no traditional repercussion and all that. So yeah, we've seen the Oba with the politicians on several occasions. He is a friend of Bokuwari. Not that he has much choice per se, right? But he's a friend of the politicians, okay? And we've seen him with Tinubu, by the way, as well. And these are meetings that are not just outside Benin. They are in far, far away, Abuja and now Lagos. But that is not the purpose of this chart. So Oba now told the governor, among other things he said, the one that caught the attention of the supposed, we the Yorubas, like, she Oba of Benin want to rewrite our history, ne? And because he is Oba of Benin, when you see an average Benin person, they will tell you, be careful, don't talk about our Oba. Oba cannot be wrong to an average Benin person. But that's fine. I kind of respect that. However, here is what happened. Oba now said that Lagos was founded by the Beninese. And so many people have been going mental about it. You see, where I want to look at it from is going to be so different from those of you who wanted to be who is right and who is wrong. I have actually, for him saying that, apart from the fact that he is not totally right and he is not totally wrong, but in this case, I'll tell you what I know and why I decided to look at it from here. Have you noticed that if you are a Benin person watching me right now, have you noticed that, recently, a lot of you get so mad and angry whenever the Oduduwa nation people add Benin as part of a Yoruba nation? You know how you are like, no, we are not part of your Yoruba nation. I'm not saying you are. I want to say, I want you to take a look at what that what Oba said. Omonoba said. He said that the Benin people founded Eko, which later became Lagos. And the same ruling houses in Lagos there is one of them that found their own traces back to Benin. And therefore, that is an evidential fact that the Beninese founded Lagos. That is a complete falsehood. It is not true. Now, here is the real story. The ones that are actually like factually evidenced and documented. And I'll tell you the ones that I will say I remain controversial among all of the, probably the histories that all of you have. Please, I need your attention. And like I said, I'm actually not saying this because I want to prove who is right or who is wrong or who has the right history or who doesn't and the rest of that. Now, I'm going to use this to show the connection that actually connects the rest of the Yorubas with the Beninese. And by that, you can say the Beninese are also Yorubas. Because Yorubas are not just yours. When you look at the land that is kind of identified as Yoruba land, it also comprises of other nationalities too, like the independent region called the Ijebu land. We've always been independent. We've never been under anyone. But that's a story for another one anyway. But in Yoruba land, you have all these other independent people, right? But there is something I want us to remember. You see, for the Benin people, why they sort of always get connected there with the Ile-Ife and the Yorubas in history. You see, in the 14th century, this was about 1300, So it was recorded that the last born of Oduduwa, Oromiyan, found his way down to a place called Igudomigodo. He now settled at a place called Use, where he was a warrior. He was like, So he settled in a place called Use. He met people there called Igudomigodo. The people that are today's the Beninese, which means there are people there, even before he got there. Then he decided to rule over them. But they won't let him because his ways seem so foreign to them. And this forced him to leave the today's Benin. He left and he called the place Ile Ibinu, which is kind of interpreted to what is called the Benin and all that. But the same people, they kind of managed, right, to ensure that it was that Oromiyan history, which is recently probably coming out. Sorry, 1 second though. My time is up again.
Yeah, Lagos. But I cannot help but saying that at least it is in history books that Benin founded Lagos. But when some people will hear it now, they go haywire and say, what is the Oba saying there again? But it is true. Go and check out the records. Maybe not all over Lagos as we know it now, but certain area in Lagos, maybe the nucleus of Lagos.
I have told you, my intention is pretty much not to see who is right or who is not, okay? Or you can tell me I am wrong, and I am 100% willing to agree, okay? Because if that is how you want to see it. What I'm trying to bring out is that even this history of Oromiyan coming and becoming the first Oba of Benin, but he left and then stopped at, what's that place called again? Is it called Ugo? So where Eweka was born, and Eweka I became the first now recognized Oba of Benin, and the same Eweka family still kind of have access to that Benin kingdom. Anyway, it was also reported that in in 15th 15th century, the Portuguese came. When the Portuguese came, this was in 15th century, they met people at at a place now that they call, they initially actually called the place Lagos, what do you call it? La Corona or something like that, right? Anyway, I'm sorry if I kind of a bit of a going on. I'm getting distracted by something, but here. So when they came to what later became Lagos, the Aworis, who are pretty much like the people who lives next to water, the Aworis were already in that spot. But it is true they had no king or anything. So they said one of the subjects of the Oba of Benin, right, escaped, and he was reported to have been spotted in a place that is today's Eko. And that Eko or Oko, which is sort of interpreted as a Benin language of a settlement, something like that, right? The Lagos has already been named as far back as the 1500, when the Portuguese came, just before, you know what I mean, even the Benin's came. And on record, from record, the Benin's, they did not even reach that spot called Deko until the 17th century. This is history. And like I said, a lot of you are going to be so busy typing that, oh no, you are wrong, you are wrong. I'm gone, ma, finish before you slaughter me. Calm down. And these are the ones that you can really trace, and they are actually the existing factual one. I mean, I don't know which one your old man told you or what have you, right? There are people there. Okay? However, they said when they got to that same spot of Ido, right? The person they met there was Olofin, who happened to be an Awori. So Olofin said, well, if you know who you were looking for, we'll let you settle down here. Stay here until you find the person. And that was the first time the real Benin contingent actually, on behalf of the Oba, there was no war, there was no fight, there was no nothing. And like I said, historically, usually when people are kind of conquered or a place is taken over, it is mostly either by war or treaties, especially if you share border and the rest of that, but there was nothing. Now, there is another history where they said it was actually an Ashikpa, a Benin chief, who led that delegate to come and look for that subject, was the one who initiated the administrative settlement, like, okay, you have the chiefs, the dejos, you have the king and the rest of that. The Portuguese were already there. The Portuguese didn't meet the Benins. They met the Aworis when they came. But again, even if you disagree with that history, part of history, it's okay. Or if you are a Benin man, here is what I pick out of it. If you are a Benin man or from Benin or Benin woman that agrees that that part of what later became the Lagos state, which is that Eko, listen to this. So, just like I said that you have the Aworis, we had the Aworis there. There were other 60, one sec. Sorry about that. So there were more than like 60 other parts of Lagos state, which make up of the Lagos state, where other people were already settled too. Like I said, if you know Lagos very well, Lagos state, or should I say Eko, is just part of Lagos. And back in those old days, why does he keep giving me that? Take it out. Man, I don't know why the harp is pretty much following sign language, hand language and the rest of that, because he keeps doing that and he will just stop me and I can't stop moving my hand. I'm sorry. So, where was I? So yeah, I said, I don't want to see who founded where or not now, okay? Because we have Ekpe, and we know who started Ekpe and all of that. So we have Ikorodu, where the Jebus, all right, are part of that, okay? So you have so many other parts of Lagos State that are far, far, far away from Eko. So it's okay if Oba says, okay, maybe I shouldn't say it's okay. Like I said, it's not completely wrong and it's not completely right as well, okay? Now, let's agree that the Benin's actually started the place that has now become Isaleku of today. Do you get that now? Let's say they started that. And indeed, that is a connection that everyone who says I'm a Yoruba, whether you are Egbao, Ijebu, or Yo, or, even Benin, there is no point in being so agitative or being so sort of, unfriendly when the conversation around Yoruba nation pops up. Like it could be an LV conversation where you would agree that is a connection. Abi? I just thought I should say that because I have seen where the level of a division that these criminals or politicians have kind of created, they have made conversation like this so sort of difficult to have because everyone has a position. Do you get that? Everyone has his position that says, yeah, we did that. Okay, fine. That's great. Fine, you did. No, I'm not saying that Toba of Lagos lied, though, you see. I'm going to leave you with this now, all right? I have told you this before. You see, those of you who are champions of who is supreme or who is not, maybe this conversation will never settle down well with you, okay? The acknowledgement of the acknowledgement of the existence of the Benins in what's now came out to be the Eko, the lagoon, does not literally means that the Benins created or founded Lagos. That even if you are now like, okay, everyone kind of started theirs and until they kind of get connected and they became what is now demarcated as Lagos State. Instead of tearing ourselves apart on who has more supreme or who founded what or not, how about you look into the connection, the things you really shared in common, which Nigeria has managed to put wrench in or in between. So today now, if you dare put out any map that says the Benins are also Yorubas or partly Yorubas and all of that, they will say, lie in your life, we are not part of that. And I'm not saying you should though, but if the Oba says there is connection between Benin and Eko, which is part of Yoruba land, okay, maybe that's far-fetched to say that should make it the rest of you part of Yoruba land because you've never really been. The Godo people that turn to the Benin people of today, they've always sort of have their own their own kingdom of space, if you can say it that way. So yeah, If the Oba says they founded Lagos without fighting a war, that is not completely true. That's where I'm going. I mean, that's what I want to make out of that, okay? Oba was in Lagos. I kind of want to share that with you, if you don't mind.
Everywhere there. It's illegal. We believe so much in the head. That is why when they wake up in the morning, they hold our head and they pray on our head. So that is, we have this thing. If you look at this, this is our own piggy bank then. Then this we used to get water. So the inscription of all these things are actually written here for people to read about it. That is how we have all these things here. So these are like interactive screens, so that we also don't take away a new. So technology is also making technology also a play in the museum. So when you stand on that thing, it reacts. And whatever it's doing, it has a sensor.
Okay. I got three, that's what I said.
Yes. So with his crown on his head, the staff of authority, we try to showcase the royalty, because when our king sits down, you don't see the leg. So that's what we try to showcase here, with the crown on his head and his shoe beside him. So a lot of things. These are all modernized. When you find these things, yes, you recognize it. You recognize it. If I move, if I go back, go forward. Wow. So there's a lot of things that this kind of interactive things you do for young people, yes, you can. Look at doing all the things that we see in those new feature movies and so people can what kind of movies are they now? Wakanda kind of yeah. That's what we are. So we are looking at a situation that in 2030 we are looking at the year 2030. The so-called building image that the British are so demonized. How will it look? How will our children make it more modern? They may take the Orioloko now and they will put light on it and make it more appealing to the tourists to come into our nation. They can take our masquerade cloth and also make it more modern. So what we are trying to depict here is just like a normal Yoruba pantheon. That's what this place depicts. The one in front, this talks about creation. So this is just talking about how the history of the creation in relation to Lagos history. It's unfortunate that the sound is, but I believe that next time that we will come here, we'll have the sound. So it's just telling us about how we are created, to crawling, to running, so that's what this place is just intertwining with people. So that's what this screen is basically telling us about.
It's a wonderful visit. I think His Excellency has said it all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I've enjoyed the tour. I've seen many things, and the guide has been wonderful. Thank you very much.
So do you see that? So over time, multiculturalization or cultural exchanges between some of us Africans, especially those of us who are in that part of Nigeria, they also depict the similarity and a lot of things that we sort of share in common if we end up being a single country. I kind of love that. the Benin Kingdom rich in tradition and culture. Here was him when he got set to see Sanwo.
I was asking about the debt profile of this.
I think I've mixed them both together. Let's take it from here. Sorry.
It won't enter. Just stay.
You will love tradition, won't you? Imagine receiving a guest, that you have to kind of wait for some minutes for him to properly settle down and all of that. The whole house, the whole street, the whole compound. That is how Oni of Ife also goes everywhere. London, everywhere they go. I don't know about